What if I told you that a coin worth only 5 cents could carry a story that stretches across decades of history, a story connected to one of America's founding leaders, and a story that most people never even notice? Take a close look at this coin. At first glance, it seems ordinary. Just a small piece of metal with the familiar face of Thomas Jefferson. But the more carefully you study it, the more interesting it becomes. Above Jefferson's portrait, you can read the words, "In God We Trust." Beside the portrait appears the word liberty, and quietly stamped beside it is a small date, 2001. For many people, that date means absolutely nothing. But for collectors, every year on a coin marks a moment in history. The year 2001 was a time when the world was changing rapidly. Technology was expanding faster than ever before. The internet was connecting people across continents. New generations were growing up in a world that looked very different from the one their parents had known. Yet in the middle of all those changes, coins like this one were still being produced in massive numbers by the United States Mint. Millions of nickels entered circulation that year. They moved through grocery stores, gas stations, vending machines, and restaurant counters. They were dropped into jars, forgotten in drawers, and passed from one person to another countless times. Most of them disappeared into the endless flow of everyday money, but some coins survived longer than others. Some avoided being lost, melted, or damaged beyond recognition. Some managed to travel through years of circulation while still keeping their details visible. And that is where the story of coin collecting truly begins. Collectors do not just see coins as money. They see them as time capsules. Each coin represents the moment it was created, the design chosen by the mint, and the countless journeys it has taken through people's hands. Now flip the coin over. On the reverse side, you will see the image of Monticello, the historic home designed by Thomas Jefferson himself. The building stands proudly in the center of the coin, surrounded by the words United States of America and 5 cents. Above the building appears the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, the meaning out of many one. That phrase reflects the idea of unity, a nation formed from many people, cultures, and histories. But for collectors, the reverse side of the coin also represents something else: curiosity. Because sometimes the smallest details on a coin can make it special. A sharper strike from the mint, a slightly different surface, a coin that survived decades without heavy wear. These small details can turn an ordinary coin into something collectors search for. Imagine a collector sitting late at night with a table full of old coins. One by one, they examine each coin under a bright lamp. Most coins are quickly placed aside. Nothing unusual, nothing rare, but suddenly a nickel dated 2001 catches their attention. Maybe the hidden journey of the 2001 nickel. But the real story of this coin does not end with the year stamped beside Jefferson's portrait. In many ways, the year 2001 was only the beginning of its journey. When this nickel first left the mint, it looked completely perfect. The surface was clean, the details were sharp, and the design of Monticello on the reverse side was clear and strong. At that moment, it was identical to millions of other nickels produced that same year. To the workers inside the mint, it was simply another coin. But the moment it entered circulation, everything changed. Coins are different from most objects we own. A phone stays with one person. A book may pass through a few hands. But coins travel constantly. They move through cities, stores, pockets, and wallets faster than almost any other object in the world. This nickel may have started its journey in a bank, but from there its path could have gone anywhere. Perhaps it was used to buy a newspaper early one morning. Perhaps it paid for a cup of coffee in a busy cafe. Maybe it was dropped into a vending machine in a school hallway, or placed on a counter at a small store. Every time it changed hands, it became part of someone's everyday life. Years passed. The world changed. New technologies appeared. People began using credit cards and digital payments more often. Yet coins like this one continued to move quietly through the economy. Some coins disappeared over time. Others were damaged or lost. But a few lucky coins survived the decades. And that is where collectors become interested. Coin collectors often search through thousands of coins, looking for pieces that stand out. They check the details, the condition, and the clarity of the design. Even the smallest difference can make a coin more interesting. Imagine a collector sitting at a desk with a magnifying glass and a small lamp. One by one, coins pass under the light. Most are ordinary and quickly set aside. But suddenly the collector stops. A nickel dated 2001 catches their attention. The coin is tilted under the light. The details of Jefferson's portrait are examined carefully. The lines of Monticello are checked for clarity. The edges are studied to see how well the coin survived years of circulation. In that moment, the coin is no longer just 5 cents. It becomes a small piece of history, Because every coin carries a hidden timeline. This nickel may have traveled through dozens of cities. It may have passed through hundreds of hands. It may have been part of thousands of small everyday transactions. Each of those moments is invisible now. But the coin remains. That is what makes coins so fascinating. They are silent witnesses to history. They survive while the world around them changes. And sometimes, the coins people ignore today become the coins collectors search for tomorrow. So the next time you see a nickel dated 2001, take a moment to look closely.